Ilia Topuria just sat down with the Spanish reporter Alvaro Colmenero and opened up about his future and his next move. Ilia once again pushed for that special catchweight belt he wants to fight Islam Makhachev for, a belt that would represent the biggest super fight in the sport right now. He went into detail about the belt, why the UFC should create it, and made it obvious he's aiming for a huge return fight. Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan is not impressed at all. The number one lightweight contender called out El Matador's inactivity, pointing out that Topuria has not fought since June and still has not defended his lightweight title. The Armenian believes Ilia is trying to chase easy fights, chase big paydays, and avoid real contenders until he gets that super fight with Islam Makhachev. Tsarukyan also fired off a warning for whenever that fight with Ilia happens. His plan is straightforward. He wants to slice Topuria up with elbows, rip his face open, and close the show with a TKO. Arman believes the matchup heavily favors him. He feels he overwhelms Ilia in every phase, and when El Matador finally steps back into the cage, he wants to be the one standing across from him. Alright, let's hear what Ilia had to say.
They asked Dana directly at a press conference if there was a chance I would fight in January, and he said there was a possibility. But honestly, for now, I have not had any approach from the UFC. They have not told me anything about any fight. I have nothing lined up. I can sense things as always, and it also depends on me, on who I want to fight. At the end of the day, the interests of both sides have to align, and we will see what comes out of it. As for who I want to fight, I have Paddy on my mind. I want to fight Paddy if they do not let me move up to welterweight to fight Islam, because the fight I truly want is against Islam in the third weight class. But we will see. Maybe I take one fight at lightweight, and then in the summer, there is a date where they finally let me move up and compete for the third belt. Or maybe they create a new belt called the pound for pound belt at a catchweight where we meet and fight for that pound for pound title. There are many possibilities as always, and we will see what the future brings. This is how my fight with Islam would go. They would see a very desperate Islam trying to get a dominant position and catch his breath, and they would see me with a lot of spark to put him to sleep, which in the end, I would achieve.
Arman Tsarukyan just snapped on Paddy Pimblett for somehow ending up ranked in the top 5 of the lightweight division, and honestly you can't blame him. The way Paddy's climb played out is wild. He beat Michael Chandler, jumped into the top 10 at number 8, and then, without beating any other contenders, he just kept floating up the rankings as the lightweight division reshuffled. One guy lost, another guy moved divisions, another got inactive, and boom, Paddy Pimblett is suddenly ranked number 5. Meanwhile, Arman, who has actually fought through the fire in this division, has beaten top contenders and built himself into a real lightweight threat, is watching all of this happen. Arman is coming off a clean win over Dan Hooker at UFC Qatar and is making his own push for the belt, but this situation just highlights the reality of UFC matchmaking. Even though most fans see Arman as a legit top lightweight who should be next in line, the UFC doesn't always run on merit. Sometimes hype moves the needle more than actual wins, and right now, Paddy is benefiting from that more than anyone. Who do you want to see Topuria face in his first title defense at 155? Leave your comments below.
So 100% gotta be me. No way they can give Paddy Pimblett fight. Everybody gonna laugh at them because I'm number one contender. I proved it again, and what do they want from me? You know, and I went there, performed, just destroyed Dan Hooker, and they wanna put the guy who is fake making rank.
Did you see he moved up to 5 now this morning? Did you see that?
Bro, how you can beat like a number 12 or number 13 and became number 5? I was beating everybody in our division. I beat like 5. I was on the 5 or 6 win streak to get in top 15, you know? And like, this guy just beat 6 people and like he's number 5.
In a recent video that absolutely blew up online, Jon Jones and Khamzat Chimaev were caught playfully wrestling in the streets, but things got wild fast. Out of nowhere, Khamzat pulled Jones down and landed a takedown that looked both shocking and impressive. And this isn't just any takedown. Jones is known for having an absolutely unreal takedown game, having only conceded 2 takedowns in his entire UFC career across the light heavyweight and heavyweight divisions. The clip spread like wildfire, with some fans shrugging it off as just playful sparring sparring, but Jon Jones himself chimed in on Twitter, making it clear the takedown was as legit as it gets, and he straight up praised Khamzat's skills. Meanwhile, Alex Pereira hopped on YouTube for an interview with Sports Illustrated's Greg Calley, and as expected, he called out Jon Jones. He even made a subtle nod to that takedown incident. Pereira also talked about the possibility of facing Khamzat Chimaev in the future, explaining what it would take for the Chechen to actually earn a shot against him. Let's roll the clip.
My interest in Jon Jones comes from who he is. He has done so much for the sport and is such a huge name. I am obviously still coming up, my name is getting bigger and bigger, and I think it's an interesting fight for everyone involved. You know, we have both shown our interests, so let's see how it goes. Maybe I can take him down too after seeing all this madness. Yeah, the fight with Chimaev is also on my watch list. I even made a little challenge to him. Look, it's not that I'm not interested in him, it's just that there are still a lot of fights in my division. There's also the option for me to go up to heavyweight. I think he needs to defend his belt first. You know, he would be my last option, but it's an option, yeah.
Just weeks after the chatter about the next title shot swirling between Paddy and Justin Gaethje, the MMA world is starting to lean heavily toward Arman Tsarukyan being next in line. Even Daniel Cormier is on board with this, calling Arman the most dangerous and deserving opponent for Topuria. After his win over Hooker, Tsarukyan didn't just celebrate, he made it clear he's ready for a fast turnaround. No injuries, fully prepared, and even willing to train in the US for 2 full months. That puts him perfectly in line for the early 2026 window, which is exactly when the UFC wants Topuria back in action. This fight is stylistically super intriguing. Arman is an elite grappler with a complete high-level MMA game, and the big question on everyone's mind is how Ilia's wrestling will hold up. El Matador has shown top-tier wrestling in his earlier bouts, but Arman's grappling could push him to the limit. Still, given Topuria's current form and momentum, it's very hard to imagine him losing any time in the near future. Leave your breakdowns in the comments below. How do you see this stylistic battle playing out? Now, let's see what DC has got to say.
I think Paddy Pimblett has a bright future in fighting, but I believe that the 2 best lightweights in the world, if Islam Makhachev is now the welterweight champion, it's Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria, bro, and that's not even in question anymore. I thought that Paddy Pimblett getting in the octagon after Ilia won the belt, to me was a little bit odd because I didn't feel like him beating Michael Chandler should have warranted him being in that spot. I thought that the biggest issue would be trying to do away with the images of Paddy in the cage with Ilia. But then when you watch Arman Tsarukyan last weekend, bro, he's big, he's strong, he can really wrestle, he can strike, he can do just about everything, and his top control is what's a real issue. That's the scary thought for anyone that are Ilia Topuria fans, because if there's anyone that could replicate that game of Makhachev, or at least to a degree, Arman Tsarukyan.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.